Hello there. From anticyclonic gloom to low pressure, bringing us an unsettled week ahead. Strong winds, some heavy rain at times in the forecast, as well as a little bit of uncertainty. Let's take a look at the bigger picture, where we can already see low pressure is largely dominating the scene. To end on Monday, we've got low pressure situated to the north of the country and also to the south. But as we get towards the middle part of the week, it's really this area of low pressure that we do need to keep an eye on, slowly skirting its way eastwards across the Atlantic towards us here in the UK. It does eventually get picked up by a relatively strong jet stream, and it moves into what we call the left jet exit and also moves into the cold side of the jet stream. And when we see this setup, we can sometimes undergo some rapid deepening, and this can bring in some strong winds towards us, particularly across the south later Wednesday through into Thursday. Before we get on to that though, let's talk about Tuesday, where we'll see some bright skies to start, perhaps some mist and fog, particularly across central and eastern areas of England, but there's also going to be a fair amount of cloud and also some showers associated with this, particularly across western areas. But even by the afternoon, we'll see some showers pop up across eastern areas too. Across central areas of England, parts of the east and southeast, we'll see some brighter skies in between the showers, but there is still a risk of showers nevertheless, and it's going to be fairly breezy, particularly across northern Scotland, perhaps a bit of a breeze across southern counties too. Temperatures though fairly similar to what they were this afternoon, highs reaching around 16 degrees across central areas and parts of the south, a degree or two lower here, and perhaps feeling quite cool in that strong northerly flow across northwest Scotland too. Then later into the evening, we do still have low pressure swirling around to the north, so we'll continue to see this westerly feed of air. So still some showers and some cloud starting to push in from the west. But on the whole, on Wednesday, it should be a mostly dry and bright start. Some mist and fog perhaps once again across eastern areas of England, this lifting and breaking, and most areas should see a widely dry day, a little drier than what it will be Tuesday afternoon. But there are still going to be some showers around once again across western areas, so that'll push in some more cloud too, and then some longer spells of rain, possibly some slightly stronger winds just starting to creep in to the far west of Cornwall as well. Also still fairly breezy across northern areas of Scotland. Temperatures similar once again, highs reaching around 16 degrees Celsius across central and southern parts, but more towards the mid to low teens across parts of Scotland, still feeling that little bit cooler in the brisk breeze. Now it's later Wednesday through into Thursday where we are going to see some very unsettled weather. An area of low pressure at first pushing into parts of the southwest, likely skirting its way across the south before eventually pushing into parts of the North Sea. But you can see associated with this feature, there's quite a lot of rain, this rain quite heavy at times. And also look at the amount of isobars on the chart. We're also going to see some fairly strong and gusty winds. Now at present, there's still a little bit of uncertainty around the exact track of this area of low pressure. But let's talk about the most likely scenario, and this is low pressure skirting across the south before eventually becoming placed just off the east coast of East Anglia. So southern and eastern areas in this scenario are going to be the most affected. So coastal gales, possibly even severe gales across eastern coasts, and also some heavy outbreaks of rain across southern areas. Some quite strong winds, particularly to the western side of this area of low pressure, and amongst all that heavy rain, there is a chance we could see some thundery downpours. So it is going to be unsettled on Wednesday, and a slight chance that actually this area of low pressure could be shifted slightly further north. And if this occurs, then the impacts could be slightly more widespread. So still some strong winds across much of the UK this time, especially across Scotland and northeast England, but even a chance of severe gales across eastern areas of England too. And once again, we could see some perhaps more prolonged areas of rainfall across a more widespread area of the UK if this scenario occurs. But at the moment, the most likely track is that it will skirt its way across the south. And with this, it is going to bring some strong winds, a chance of gales, coastal gales, particularly across southern and eastern areas of England, alongside those heavy outbreaks of rain. And as we head towards Thursday and Friday, that area of low pressure will continue to swirl around across parts of the North Sea. And notice we bring in a more northerly flow of air. So not only strong winds, but we're starting to source our winds from a much colder air mass too. So things will start to feel that little bit chillier towards the end of the week and into the weekend. So as we head our way into Thursday then, still some remnants of rain across central areas and parts of the east and southeast. This still heavy at times before eventually clearing its way to the North Sea. Obviously keep an eye on the forecast for Thursday, a chance it could change if we see the track of that low change as well. But once this area of rain does clear, it will turn brighter for all. Still some showers though, particularly across the west, and a risk these could be heavy and thundery. And it's still going to be rather windy, particularly around eastern coasts too. A chance we could continue to see some coastal gales here. Now notice a slight change in those temperatures too, highs reaching around 13 to 14 degrees in the south, but where we see that brisk northerly wind, it is going to be feeling that much chillier. So the area of low pressure, as I said, will still swirl around across parts of the North Sea. We'll eventually start to see high pressure build into the Atlantic as well, really finalising that northerly flow across parts of the UK on Friday. So once again, it is going to be feeling quite chilly, still fairly strong winds, so still quite a breezy day on Friday, still plenty of clouds, so that reduces the risk of any frost. It's just more going to be feeling a bit chillier. And we could still continue to see some longer spells of rain, particularly around eastern coasts. It'll only take that area of low pressure to be slightly situated further west for them to see quite persistent outbreaks of rain through the day. But for much of England and Wales, a mix of clouds and brighter spells, still a chance of some showers. Northern Ireland, northwest England and parts of Scotland. A cloudy day still with a risk of showers and still fairly breezy. Highs once again reaching around 14 degrees across the south, but still that northerly flow making things feel that much chillier, particularly where we see those strong winds around eastern coasts. Then as we head through into the weekend, still low pressure sat to the east, high pressure sat to the west. This is further establishing that northerly flow and still quite brisk winds. Notice the amount of isobars on the chart. So as we head towards the weekend, things are going to feel that much chillier, perhaps even some wintry showers across Scotland for the beginning of half term for many of us. But of course, for more updates on that, don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel.